So Joe, you have 5 minutes to present.
Cool. And I've set my watch so I don't talk too
Okay.
much.
I'm watching too.
Cool. Thank you for everyone showing up this evening. The situation that I find myself in, I am completely stuck as to what to do next. So, bit of background. I'm out of work, and I have been for about a year and a half. I stopped working in medicine. I was a doctor training to be a GP, family physician, and just couldn't get on with it. There's lots there, but that's where I am. And I finally made the decision about 6 weeks ago to quit the NHS. I don't know how much you understand about the UK health sector, but it's publicly run primarily. Like 95% is publicly funded. People don't pay for their doctors directly. We pay for it through our taxation. So the NHS, National Health Service, is a big no for me for lots of reasons. And I am currently, but not forever, very, very busy caring for my mum, who currently lives with me. And if you've been on these calls, you've seen all the comings and goings. She's currently staying in the room that is my office. And to escape from the hustle and bustle, I'm sitting on my son's bed, hence the butterfly behind my head, just hopefully to get a bit of peace and quiet. So the issue is I just don't know what to do with my time when I'm not busy being a carer, which isn't full time, but it's a lot of my time. And I'm missing the bits that you get from work, or that I used to get from my work, to feel like a useful member of society, to use my brain, to give me back my confidence, because I've gone from having a fairly high status career to being a single mum on benefits, which in society is like, it's not so bad now, but 30 years ago, I was scum. I was the problem, single mum on benefits. And so I need a plan. I desperately need a plan, or I need something to do. And I don't have a shortage of ideas, and that's one of the problems. It's how to kind of marry all the things that I have done in my careers up to now, and to do something practical that's useful, purposeful, gives me some confidence that I actually have something to give back to society, because I'm feeling a bit useless at the moment. And that I can potentially build on. So when I stop having to do this caring part of my life, that I can then build something out of it. As I said, I have been a doctor, and I graduated in 2010. So I did that for about 15 years. Prior to that, I was an engineer, and I spent a year very miserably working in an environmental consultancy called Eco Securities, writing project design documents to submit to the International Panel on Climate Change on why a biogas generator in Brazil deserved to get carbon credits. And so I was actually trying to sell the absence of hot air, which it was soul destroying. One, because I sat down all day, and two, because I was writing reports, and three, I was making somebody else rich. And then before that, I did a PhD in renewable energy, energy storage in hydrogen. Just as I know we've got people who worked in the Calvin Almanac. I was so disappointed when my copy turned up a few weeks ago that you only have one page on hydrogen. I will at some stage resubmit a much more rounded chapter on that, but I didn't volunteer when that went out. Don't know why. Anyway, and my first degree, so yes, I have three. They're cheap, or they were cheap in the UK, was in engineering, electrical and mechanical engineer. So over the last few months, one of my issues is I have too many ideas. And one I've noticed is trying to bring renewable energy to festival and outdoor events, like trying down with the diesel generator. I've got enough technical knowledge. However, there are lots of steps that I need to do to get that anywhere. And one, I haven't got the time, and two, my confidence is shot, and three, my engineering qualification is 20 years out of date. the laws of physics haven't changed, but some things have moved on. Or I've only got 5 seconds. And then I was going to open a health food shop, or not open it, buy one. And I wrote my business plan and everything, just about to call the agents to say, look, give me a couple of weeks. I want to do my due diligence. And they said, it's gone. And so there's a whole lifestyle medicine, basically telling people what to do. I'm really good at that. Not very good at taking my own medicine though. And so, yeah, but I haven't got anything meaty to do. At the moment, I'm doing an awful lot hanging around on Purple, being just kind of popping up and giving my opinion. But I'm not even very consistent on that. There is a bit more, but I'll leave it to see if any more probing questions bring that up. But that was my 5 minutes. And so I'll leave it there and see what the hive mind comes up with.
All right, clarifying questions that only elicit one-word answers or short phrases, factual, concrete questions.
Is the desperate need to find something to do based on an economic need primarily, or an outdated
So
belief that we have to?
that's a probing question.
Oh, that's a probing question. Okay.
Is it based on economic need? No,
Good job.
not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Soon.
What kind of store was it that you said? I missed it.
It was a health food shop with therapy rooms above it in the town that I live in.
When you
Okay.
look at your 3 degrees or your multiple careers, is there one thoroughfare that you can see through them, like one word that represents all of them, or something that connects those together?
Hyphenated, it'd be problem solver.
You said it's been a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Have you? Oh, go ahead, Diane.
Oh, can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Have you written a plan for, say, a year and a half out?
No.
Okay, I think my mic's working now.
Yep, you're back.
Do you, yes or no, do you get fed by dealing with the general public on a daily, constant basis?
Yes.
I'm wondering if the last part of your life has been health, food, these kind of ideas, and then this other part of your life was engineering. Are you only going back to engineering because you feel like, oh, I did this, I have the experience, I have the know-how, or are you going back to engineering because you like have a deep, passionate love for it that you feel like is forgotten?
We can switch into probing so you can.
Yeah, this
Okay, yeah.
I have a deep, passionate love for a number of things. It's one of my problems. And the big change has happened that when I did my thesis, I submitted in 2004, no one was talking about climate change. No one understood. I stood up in a conference in Chicago talking about trying to store renewable energy and hydrogen, and the lovely, mostly gentleman was like, oh, that's really cute. You've got a great accent. Why? It's like, okay. And so I left that field because I couldn't see a way through. I couldn't. It was, yeah. There was no one. There were no women. There were no. I don't know. It was just. It's yeah. And so I just went. I quite fancy being a doctor. So I did, and I enjoyed that for a while.
Wow. So I feel like I'm listening to myself in a lot of ways. What's the story you tell yourself about what I call to myself this idea disorder that you have? What's the story you tell yourself about it?
Well, I do know I have an idea disorder. Before, I just thought I couldn't stick at anything. That I do actually have ADHD, very late diagnosis, which has explained possibly why I've had 3 careers, and I can't concentrate on anything unless I'm interested, or someone's going to be very disappointed if I don't submit or show up or do it.
So I guess
and-
my question
yeah.
is, do you see that as, and I said it that way on purpose, do you see that as a negative?
Not now.
Okay.
Except I can't make my mind up. I can't decide on anything. Everything, I find too many things interesting.
Can I clarify something?
Mhm.
Okay. So you can't work full time because you're caregiving. So you need
Yeah.
something part time or in those edges, in your margins.
Yeah.
You want work that does not trap you inside all day
Mm-hmm.
or at a desk all day. You want to feel useful to
Yeah.
actual people, that you can see that you're useful to them and not, this isn't just like a stratosphere. You want a sense of identity and contribution. You have
Yeah.
low confidence at the moment, so you need
Mhm.
something with easy entry and small wins.
Yeah.
You don't want to be soul destroyed by paperwork and corporate toxicity, and you need the autonomy and flexibility for caregiving.
Yeah.
And you thrive when you're problem solving in real situations with real people.
Yeah.
Money matters, but you're not chasing the high salary for high salary stake. Dignity and usefulness is more important to you.
Indeed.
Anything I missed?
I think you've got it there.
All right. Well, have a good day, everybody. No.
I want to probe on the last iteration. At the high level, you don't have to go into details. What was it about the structure of your work at the NHS that made it unviable for you? Was it bureaucracy and paperwork? Kind of like, what were the big themes, just so that you don't end up repeating those themes?
Yeah. The big themes was time pressure. So I worked in surgery. I worked in orthopedics for a big chunk before I moved to family medicine. I did that because I have a son. And I thought the hours would be more family friendly. And in family medicine, even though I was a trainee, it's like you've got it. It's like a conveyor belt of doom. So that was one, the speed. I need to be able to go away, think about it, and come back. It's just how my brain works. The second thing was how slow better ways of doing things took to be adopted by the guidelines, the service. So things like a lifestyle changes. Like if you've got someone who's diabetic, you tell them to stop eating sugar, but actually you might need to tell them to stop eating bread too, or bread of this type. That's not the guideline. You're veering out of your lane. Anything even slightly woo-woo, not yet, and we're not even talking major woo-woo, would be frowned upon. And it was very much, you did not the minimum, but it was just too superficial. I wasn't solving any problems, and quite often I couldn't help. It's like, yeah, your kid needs to be seen by a child mental health services. Sorry, you've got a 2-year wait unless you pay for it. And of course, in this country, people can, but it was most people don't and can't. So that it was those kind of frustrations. It's like, I'm not fixing anything here.
Do you have a sense from experience of how what's the time lag between an action and your being able to see, oh, that helped? Because we all love instant gratification, right? But do you have a sense from experience of like, that project took X months and it was worth it because at the end I got a sense that it really helped? Or it took too long, even though, it did show up helping, but 3 months was too long. Like, you have a sense of your urgency.
It depends on the intervention, and it depends on, going back to my research, it's like the solution that I came up with, the lead time for that was going to be decades. And we've now got to the stage where people are now listening to stuff that I wrote 20 years ago. And I couldn't wait 20 years, and I couldn't see a path through it. I for some reason, I need to have a pathway, and I've always been employed. I've never been brave enough to be self-employed because I need structure, desperately need structure, but I can't create it for myself very well. So it's, but going back to the gratification from the intervention, I did quality improvement projects as a doctor, and it's like, it would take weeks to months to figure them out, do the audit, implement them, present them, and then retest. And I got a buzz out of the fact that I knew that even if 2 or 3 people did it slightly differently, that was a good thing. And so I don't need a huge boost back, but it needs to be months, perhaps, not years. If it's years, it's like, no, someone else can do it. It's this interest-based focus that I've got. If it's, yeah.
So do you think you could freelance or start your own business if it's part-time? Could you build constraints into your life and make that an option?
I can imagine it now.
Okay.
But I'm the bit that I'm really stuck on is I don't know how to be of use. And because of being out of work, and I'm feeling, and it seems really silly to say it out loud, but it's like I just don't feel as though I'm particularly good at anything. Which I know sounds insane given all my qualifications, but right now, apart from talking and giving my opinion on things, I've completely lost track of my capabilities. And so yes, I'd like to, that's kind of my dream, is to be self-sufficient. And if I can figure out ways of creating a structure, even if it is just that I have a work buddy, coach, partner, whatever, you kind of people that's like, look, I'm going to check in at 8 o'clock every morning to say, this is what I'm going to do today. And you send a message at the end of the day saying, yeah, I got this done, this done, this done. It doesn't need to be big. I don't need my hand held, but also I don't want to work in isolation. But I can only do deep focus work in isolation. And so I've got all these, it's very difficult to please me. I feel I've got my sister's voice here. Jane, what do you want? Anyway, it's not therapy. This is professional stuff, but you can see hopefully that it's like, I've got that voice. The possibility course told us I've got that voice. I can't even write my A letter because it's either too ambitious or not ambitious enough. I'm either trying too hard or not trying hard enough. And it's like, stop it.
So
What's an A letter?
Oh, you have to write yourself an A.
Give yourself an A.
Give yourself an A, sorry. Yeah.
So if a project is a journey, where's your stop? Is it at the design phase? Is it at the startup phase? Is it at the long-term implementation? Or if appropriate, is it at the closing stage? Where do you get off on that journey?
Oh, well, I did my Clifton Strengths about a year ago, and I love ideas. So my things, I'm a learner. I've got ideation, futuristic, and input, and the other one was relator, which came number 3. So I like people, but not too much. I love ideas. I read, I consume information all the time. I'm addicted to knowledge in a not particularly healthy way, but I remember it, and then I go, oh, I saw that, and I can make the connections. And so I'm really good at the beginning, but if I don't have the constraints of some kind of either a course, a degree, a job, a day structure, I will disappear and find something else more interesting. So I'm much more at the beginning. However, I do love, like, I run events, or I help run events for my son's school. I'm chair of the PTA. And I just love it when we run a school disco or an Easter tea and it happens and I'm sweeping the floor at the end going, yeah, we made 200 quid and the kids had fun. And so I like that. Sorry, that's another. Oh, that's best. Oh, I've got my steps up. And so it's the middle bit of the journey that I get unstuck. And it's if I have to do it on my own or without very clear guidelines, I'll go off piste. I'll just, yeah.
Can I
So
ask
if-
you one more thing? Do you live in a very small community, or is it like a city? What? How
No,
many
I
people
live
do you-
in a small town. Population is about 12,000, and I'm about 15 miles away from Plymouth. Yes, of the Mayflower Steps. Well, the Mayflower, they named some steps after the boat, and that's about 250,000. But I live in the southwest of England. So if you look on a map, it's at kind of the really pointy bit that sticks into the sea. So as the southwest as a general, the population is quite low. The nearest big city of any note is Bristol, and that's about 2 hours away by car. So it's parochial. But I like it here. I'm not from here, but I like it here.
Have you ever taught?
I tried to teach medical students, but they got on my pip, so I stopped.
Who would you teach if you could? If you could choose.
Oh, they'd have to be very motivated, very interesting, and prepared to do their homework.
They'd have to enroll.
They'd have to enroll. Couldn't teach kids. Couldn't. It'd have to be very motivated people.
Other probing questions before we put Joe in exile?
I kind of, I want to continue to hear you just kind of ramble and talk, because I feel like there's a question I don't know to ask that will give so much insight.
So Joe, do you want to just try to kind of summarize everything? I know you started with a summary. We just asked a bunch of questions. Give it
Can I ask a
30 seconds.
question?
Oh, go ahead.
yes.
Yeah. Joanne, if you were to design, all limits off, if you were to design your perfect position, perfect career, perfect job, what would it look like?
Oh. It would be. I would be in a small team of people, probably not the boss, but certainly I'd be a kind of aloof, slightly to one side, but not the boss. And I'd be called on. It's like, we've got this problem. What do you think? And I'll be able to go, yes, I know. I've read something. Oh, just give me a minute. I'll be back. Without too many, without like not immediately, because my brain doesn't work that fast always. And I have to go and remember where it is. I found the bit of information. It would be in something in the arena of generally being nice to the human race and the planet. I do think that they are very closely entwined, and like my values are just, that's one thing. My values at the top is justice, which is very normal for people with neurodiversity. But then it comes teamwork, passion, integrity, fun. It's got to be fun, bravery, and in that I mean doing things that are a little bit uncomfortable, open-mindedness, positivity, and connection. And so it would be working in some kind of organization or like a small team that just kind of gets stuff done, even if it's hard, even if it isn't fashionable, because it's the right thing to do. It's a bit like organizing the school discos. No one particularly wants to do it, but at the end, everyone goes, "Oh, that was great." Sweeping the floor. It's like, I don't mind sweeping the floor. My status need isn't that great. Otherwise, I'd still be in medicine.
Mhm. Okay, so that would be what you would be doing. I don't know exactly I understand you'd rather work with adults, but you
Oh
could,
yes.
you'd work with adults, but you would work with adults maybe to benefit kids. That would be okay, like in school. In other words, you're not working with the children, but maybe working with the adults to benefit children who are somehow disadvantaged or lacking advocacy, maybe needing some kind of justice, putting together something that would improve their lives. Would that work for you?
Yeah, yes, I think that's kind of what I do at the moment with the volunteer role at my son's school. The problems I need to solve need to be solvable though. And one of the things that got me out of family medicine was dealing, especially with children, where the solution was so multifaceted. It was out with my ability to fix it.
Okay.
Sorry, even though I've come upstairs, my son's arrived. Are you going to come and say hello? No, he isn't.
All right. And income is not the biggest factor, you
Not
said.
currently. I have
Okay.
I have a little bit more breathing space, but I've applied for a temporary job over Christmas at my local supermarket. So it's like, and we have a welfare state in the UK, which is quite nice. It's not hugely generous, but I at the moment I can still I don't need to go and get a full-time job this week.
Okay.
Do I?
Awesome. Okay. That helps a little bit. Thank you.
Eva, you feel like you heard enough? We need to change.
Perhaps. Do you see yourself as entrepreneurial at all, John?
Oh,
That's a
If-
no.
if-
That's a no.
it's
That's
no,
nice.
it's no,
She
don't-
needs a structure. She
and
needs a structure.
I need structure. It's like I have the ideas, but
Yeah.
I don't have the follow through. I'm all noise and no substance.
Yeah, I heard you say you need to be accountable to some kind of structure.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
says you need to be here Tuesday at 8 o'clock, and then you could
Yeah.
process that. Okay.
yeah.
How many
can't-
hours a week are you willing to give towards any external beyond the caregiving? How many hours a week are reasonable for you?
I probably at the moment it's probably topping out at about 12 to 16, but that would be the limit currently. It will change over the next few months. But yeah, just one thing is that the scariest thing for me is a blank page. Give me something to work on, and the reason why the health food shop was it wasn't a blank page. There was something for me to chew on. There were things I could improve. There were ways I could see to go on from. So like buying someone else's business and then basically turning it inside out and changing it. That's why that one was so alluring. And because it was in my town, it had so many lovely benefits. And just the universe said it wasn't for me. And possibly right now it isn't because of my caregiving responsibilities. But hopefully by January, February time, the balance between what I'm needing to do, it's not my son, it's my mum that I'm looking after, will tip in the favor of the fact I'll get my life back. Oh, that sounds awful, doesn't it?
All right, we're gonna put you in exile and get to work.
Okay. This is the uncomfortable bit, isn't it?
No, it's not uncomfortable. I
Okay.
don't think.
See you soon.
Fun. Yeah.
All right. So until that last question that Allison asked, and that clarification, I was going to say, there's nothing wrong with being a serial starter. That's a role, right? Like, and that's one that I'm starting to embrace. But I also, maybe that's not valid in this situation if the blank page is intimidating.
Yeah. I feel like she's kind of ruled out herself in the entrepreneurial lane through many of her statements, because we know, those of us who are entrepreneurs know that we do have to get up every day and kind of invent our roles and kind of make sure that we have targets that we set for ourselves and go about it. From what I heard Joanne said, she needs other people to set the targets, and she's happy to engage in pursuing them as long as it's something that she feels is solvable and doable. As the more she was talking, I was hearing consultancies, I was hearing expert, I was hearing somebody who call in to troubleshoot something. Minimally in terms of hours, even part-time jobs are minimally about 20 hours a week. So if she's saying 12 to 16, just to be practical, I'm thinking something that's a hybrid where she is putting in 20 hours a week, but maybe only 12 to 16 of those hours need to be outside of the house.
Right.
Maybe some of it are inside the house where she's doing research or she's communicating to people, calling them up. Ideally, some kind of advocacy. And I know people who are neurodivergent. I believe that's what she said. Was I correct in hearing that? That maybe she's neurodivergent on some kind of a scale. Am I correct with that? Did I hear that? Anybody else heard that? Okay. So it's possible that being able to stay focused might be a challenge, but once people who are neurodivergent lock in, they lock in really well once they have something that's a strong interest. So if social justice is a strong interest, let's say ideally being able to advocate for students in the school system who are neurodivergent, autistic, ADHD, having some kind of thing, being able to be on some kind of committee, some kind of action thing. Is there a role for something like that in her small community with maybe, I mean, I'm in America, so I don't know exactly what it looks like over in UK, but is there a role somewhere in there that she could be part of an organization that does that, and she can operate in a place of expertise, given her medical background, giving her NHS kind of understanding, or is it NHS or NIS, but whatever. So anyhow, that's where my mind was going, and I'll leave it at that.
Anybody else?
I have so many ideas.
Go.
Okay. Okay, so I did run some of her conditions through my AI thing. So some of this is AI. So she could offer some sort of, okay, first of all, we need to weave all of these brilliances of hers together. That makes the
Yes.
most sense, right?
Mhm.
And she seems,
Unless there's one that's heavy and doesn't need to be there, but I agree.
right,
with you.
which is what I thought maybe the engineering was, but she
Right.
says she's still into this. So I went through like, you know, she wants not overwhelming complexity, but meaningful work, no bureaucracy, right? We went through all of this. And so for these, I'm trying to like weave those together and keep them all here. So she could do like hands-on sustainable services that help either people or businesses do like sustainable living setups, green my small business with low carbon options. She can help people understand they improve their indoor environment. That's an option. She could lean more into the health and do the same kind of thing, but do like practical lifestyle medicine consultants or community health workshops, or lean into this carers, because she understands that world, being a caregiver, and do like helping people with that. Like, you're a caregiver, let me help your space, let me consult your space to be the healthiest the space can be, that kind of stuff. Okay, just brainstorming here out loud still. She could maybe be paid for a guide for people navigating those, like chronic illnesses, home adapting your home, mobility issues, or community initiatives that surround that. She can go into groups and organizations that deal with people that require additional care or that are aging in place, because that's meaningful. Her idea, the event-based renewable support micro consulting, that is seasonal, flexible, physical, visible impact, maybe a little harder to get started, but like I can see it. Being in a really small community might be challenging there. There might not be as many large events that have budget for this kind of thing. Or she could do like just practical well-being engineering. So like she combines the engineering logic, medical insight, climate environmental expertise, instinct for care into some sort of practical well-being engineering bucket that we'd need to talk about more and figure out for families and small businesses, right? Because that would be, and this is what I had written down, was practical lifestyle and well-being guidance for real people with an engineering logic backbone and climate aware decisions. Because then all of the histories are braided together and reinforcing each other. Or my idea, what I would look at, but I don't know if it's good for her fit. We have something in Toronto called the Center for Social Innovation. Right now, it's a big building that I think gets funding, but it did not start out that way. And what it is a community group where nonprofits and social purpose enterprises and students and anyone who can prove that they're in this kind of space, you have to get like accepted, joins the community and gets access to all of these community resources. They all support each other and help each other, and a lot of them co-work in that space. So it's like it started as a micro community hub. It's grown into something else, but it started like a micro community hub. She can have small grant supported program inside someone else's existing infrastructure to start. So in Plymouth, there's something called Think Tank, which might be interested in connecting with her. She doesn't have to create the whole space from scratch. She can start with twice a week in Think Tank's space and just try to connect with other social innovation or environmental or social purpose brands and have this community care lab or small business care lab where they focus on growing the business, practical well-being, problem solving, mutual support, community-led, environmental initiatives, whatever. So those were all my ideas. Sorry, we're spitting all out, but that's where I'm at.
All right, I have a couple thoughts. I think a lot of us in Purple, when we talk from a place of needing to create economic value in some way. And so I think that since she does not have that pressure, her work is to relax, chill the F out. Not that you're not chilled out, but like you don't have to be caught up in the need to do and perform or prove value like the rest of us. So since that's not there, she gets to lean into, she's not in the room, right? She gets to lean into what lights her up.
Mm-hmm.
And I really would make it my work. And I've had to, again, I'm also coming from a place where I've had to learn this. I'm still kind of learning it, moving from the hustle and bustle of New York to now in Connecticut, boring ass Connecticut. Sorry, Rodney.
Apologize to me. I agree.
But, coming here and feeling like I have to do. And my fiance's like, relax, just, you're okay. Bills are paid and whatever, just relax. So it's like, oh, okay. But I still need to prove myself. He's like, okay, but not today. And so it is work. Part of the work is just, okay, so since I don't have to worry about how I'm going to eat, what would I like to do? And still that it's taken time to kind of unwind and then lean into different things and have different conversations and kind of figure out like, oh, I actually like this and this and this, and this was what I could do. But now that I know what I can do, it's still going to take time. But again, the lights are on. So I would just say lean into yeah, talk to people and be like, hey, I got time on my hands. What you got? What can I get into? Let me see. Do I like this? Oh, this was fun, but I'm good. Or, oh my gosh, this was amazing. How I want to do more. And then someone might say, actually, we have an opening, or actually whatever. But I think her job right now is just to lean into what feels good. I would love, however, if she had a podcast. Just sharing all of her knowledge, sharing what she's excited about, sharing the stuff that she sees that she's pissed off about, that she has the intelligence and information on. I'd love to have something like that to access that's hers.
It's a great idea.
But other than that, have fun with her kid and the spouse, and just it, there's the lights are on. Like
So
literally,
I have an add-on to that. I think that's a great idea. Just in terms of, sometimes we say, let me just see what I want to do. And sometimes that's the problem, right? That's the conflict we're having. So kind of a daily journaling activity. I'll give an example. So I've always worked with kids who didn't really want to be in school, didn't really want to work with you. And we started this science of boredom thing, right? So we wouldn't make them do anything. These are high school students. We wouldn't make them do anything, but we'd watch them and take notes, right? No matter what they were doing, and start to try to build experiences about what they tended to do, right? And so I've adopted that for myself at times when I'm stuck, to say, not seeking what I want to do, but noticing what I tend to do, right? So I know I think I'm this, but I always do this thing over here, right? And seeing what comes of that, right? Embracing what already is happening to you without thinking. So that's just an add-on to what you're saying, Eva, because I agree with you.
The podcast is interesting too, though, because then it gives, I mean, we've talked about this with Seth before and all the podcasts. You might only have 12 people that listen to it, but it's still 12 people in your room, right? There's 12 people in front of you that you can talk to. That's amazing. You had 12 people walk in, you'd be excited. So, but that might give her the accountability that she needs. So like journaling, she might have the journal like I have that you fill in sometimes, you know what I mean? But the podcast is accountable. People are waiting to hear what you have to say on Tuesdays about your exploration. So you say like, hey, I'm trying to bridge the gap between how much I care about this planet and all this environmental stuff I know, and medicine, and how much I care for people. I'm trying to bridge that gap. I'm going to work. Oh, you're going to love this, Eva. I'm going to work through this in public. I'm going to put this out there, and you talk each episode. You just get on there and spit it out what you tried this week. You went to the local health food store and talked to them. Now spit it out. I went and met this guy. Spit it out. Tell us.
I think that's really, really valuable. And it kind of, all of this builds to an idea I have, which is to go find out what the community needs as well. And maybe just do a couple of volunteer stints. Right. And then you can talk about, like in a way, it's kind of like trying on new clothes.
Yeah.
And just try on some different roles as a volunteer. And then you can also decide like how far away do you want to go? And, how much, is it, do you get more of a vibe in your actual community outside of the school, or, and other types of things? And what's it like to show up at the equivalent of the mayor's office and say, hey, what communities need support, and try things that way. But what I like is that plus, or feeding into a podcast where there's that sharing and that accountability.
And when you have guests, that provides volunteer opportunities, because you tap into whatever they're doing and see how you can put on.
Yeah, I feel like anything she shows up to, she's going to have an opinion about it, or she's going to have a perspective, or she's going to have some vantage point that she can speak to.
Yeah.
So that's like, we just need to get a mic in front of her.
Yeah.
Right. And then we like, share, and subscribe.
We like, share, and subscribe, and we forward and all those things. And to your point, Jen, about the accountability, she shares it in purple.
Right. That's right.
and she has Diane on, and she has Jen Chu on, and you know what I mean? She has Seth Godin on.
Yep.
And she talks about, you know, hey, here's actually where, because the Carbon Almanac hasn't gotten any criticism, I don't think. Here, and she could talk from the expert position. Here's where I wish the Carbon Almanac had talked more
Yeah.
about this.
Oh, we can get you on Carbon Sessions. They just started back up. I'm sure they would love.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah, I gotta
going
do
to try
sessions.
tomorrow.
Yeah. You know what I mean? She's got stuff to say.
Sounds like we're ready for her to come back.
Yes, please.
Come on back, Joe.
Hello.
Was that hard?
Oh my goodness. Actually, no, it was amazing to listen to all of your, because you get to think about it without the contents of my head listening and curating it. So I'm going to start, because unlike everyone else, I'm going to start back at the beginning. So Alison started. Yes, but it all links in. All your points really do interweave. The school system advocacy on committees. Yes, I am neurodivergent. I've got ADHD, very late diagnosis. Now means I don't beat myself up for being late, talking too much, not being able to sit down, being terrible with lots of things. I have a piece of paper, and in the UK we have the Equalities Act, so you can't discriminate when I'm late again. Anyway, but one thing that one of the kind of the things that get me at school is that there's a couple of kids, little boys, who are classic ADHD, and I just want to go and talk to the staff and go, look, he's not naughty, he's just trying to connect, and he's doing it in a very unusually challenging way. Let's be kind. And the school is where I volunteer, and it takes up as much time as I give it at the moment. Jennifer, your AI thing and your thing, yes, all of that. The Centre for Sustainable Innovation in Toronto. Yeah, that's that kind of place. It would be.
We'll send you a link later so you can look
Thank
it
you.
up.
Yeah, that kind of place is like, yeah, but I get kicked out for talking too much. It's just like I do feel sometimes that I'm too much when it comes to my ideas. But yeah, that kind of, you really got it. The hands-on sustainable. It's like I've got to be moving. I've got to be talking. And there is I can't remember. I don't think I wrote it down. I'm going to have to listen to this section again. About I think there is a common thread through all my degrees and careers and things that have interested me. I just haven't quite figured it out. But I think somewhere in this it did come through. Eva, yes, I know I need to chill the F out, but I can't. I actually can't, because I actually wrote down, chill out, make it my work to relax, but I still need to prove myself. And it's like, yeah, every day. My partner, we don't live together, and he's like, he very early, and I said, yeah, a day resting, it's not wasted. And I'm thinking, no, a day resting, that's, well, you haven't been productive. And eventually I had a paradigm shift, kind of very Stephen Covey-esque, and it's like, yes, I rested today, and he cheered. That was once, about 3 or 4 months ago. Now it's like, and my body basically started telling me I needed to rest, and I ignored it, and I ignored it, and I ignored it. Luckily I'm through that now, but it's like, so can I rest while being really busy? Is that possible? No. Podcast. Oh, you guys, you mentioned podcasts. Oh. I knew there was something that would come up that I would have a resistance to. And one of the things that I've got is sticking my head above the parapet. Within these little groups, I don't mind sharing, and I can read people's, I can see, it's like if I'm talking too much, eventually you can see when someone's had enough. But the idea of actually putting something out to basically go into the ether and someone else, I don't know, but I'm not going to dismiss it. I will reflect on that. I'll sleep on it a few nights, because I wonder if I created a podcast for U5, I could do that. Oh, you're muted, Rodney.
Could you be a co-host?
probably, I don't know anything about podcasts. I just listen to them.
It's, I'm just thinking that the way it plays out, if it's not on you to create it and, you know, structure it and do all those things, but you're like the co-host adds to the conversation. You get to play off of what the other person is saying and all those things. And it takes that pressure away that you clearly don't want. But it allows you to have ideas and be an expert and speak on things and all those things. So just an idea.
Can I expand on that? Number one, you can try. I can get you on Carbon Sessions. You can try one. There's like 4 other people. There's like 5 of you when you record it. So you can't hog too much time because people will be bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
So maybe you can try it. I'm
Mhm.
sure they would love to have you. I think that would be awesome. And I'm going to introduce you to Leaky right away. But you said today, you want something that lets you go away, think, and come back,
Yes.
right? You want something that gives you visible impact and some sort of metrics that people are engaged quickly, right?
Mhm.
This creates community without running a physical space and completely avoids bureaucracy, right? And gives you identity and purpose and all these things.
Yeah.
So maybe just, mull a little bit more, but I would definitely dip your toe, talk to Leaky, maybe join a recording session just to listen. You don't even have to talk the first time. Participate, see if it floats your boat.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe something
Yeah.
you're thinking about.
I'd like to just jump in here and say, Joanne, I do understand about that sticking your head above the parapet kind of feeling. And it took me a long while to put my voice on a podcast and then later on to put my face on a YouTube
Yeah.
channel. So I do understand that, I could talk all day long, like here or, in my personal contacts, but anything that would be recorded and, in perpetuity, I mean, it's like once it's out of my mouth, it's gone and not recorded, I'm good. But the minute the light came on in the camera or a mic was put in front of me, it was like, So I get that. I do understand it. I will tell you part of my process to challenge that was to start recording for nobody but for myself. So I would do my podcasts and I would say in my head, it doesn't have to be published. I'm just going to do it. If I'm rambling and I sound crazy and I sound silly, it doesn't really matter because where is it going? And then one day I did one and I listened to it and I said, that isn't too half bad. Let me see what happens. And I put it out there and, then I did another one and for every 4 that I recorded, maybe 2 went out there, until eventually I'd be like, I'm turning on the mic. I'm just doing that. So I'm just saying you don't have to jump right into the middle of the pool. You can stick a little toe in and build up your confidence, build up your courage, then decide how brave do you want to be one day and publish. That's just my experience.
Oh, that's super. Thank you. Yeah, I know we're running out of time. Just the last couple of things. Yeah, Rodney, again, I'm going to have to reflect a little bit more on what you said about the science of boredom, not seeking to do something, but noticing what I tend to do. I might need to ask you to explain that again at a later stage because it sounds really interesting because what I do and what I think I do, I'm very, very busy, but goodness knows I can't tell you what it is. And the last thing, the volunteer stints. Yes, Diane, I'm signing up to volunteer at my local charity shop. I think at the Goodwill. So they sell clothes and books and bric-a-brac, just so I can get some retail experience and also hang out and talk to people because I just like talking, but not all the time. Sometimes I like to be on my own, listening and learning stuff. And also the local food bank. As I say, about money isn't important yet, but at one stage I was only a couple of paychecks away from needing it myself, and so I know. And I'm the only blooming doctor in the job centre. Let's put it that way. So I have a very interesting perspective. It's like, my CV I tried to get a job and people looked at my CV and go, why is a doctor applying for a job here? And so I wonder, and this is really difficult, but maybe I do have to just embrace the fact that I'm a bit different. The fact that I have 3 degrees in 2 separate subjects, and I'm now a single mom on benefits, but also with 3 degrees, and used to be a doctor, and da 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 da. And yeah, I think the testing, because I don't write well, that I didn't mention that. My writing is just awful for me, but talking, as we know, is good. So I'm going to think about that podcast and see how I can make baby steps, even if I just record some audio and stick it on Purple, for the time being, because I talk better than I write, and writing takes me such a long time, unless I can use Claude. Claude's my new best friend. But wow, I almost cancelled this evening because I thought it was just like my life feels a bit of a shit show, excuse my language, at the moment. But this has been beyond my wildest dreams useful. So thank you guys for taking the time to do this. It's just, yeah, I'm getting all the feels from across the pond.
All right.
I
a
don't
quick-
think. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Go ahead. Well, I want to honor the time. Just a quick round of commitments. We don't have to explain them too much. Just
I'm going to send you a recap of my notes and what my conditions engine said.
Thank you.
It's hard. I'm not sure the commitment yet, but what I was saying is, I know you said your life is a bit of a poop show. I don't, it doesn't seem like that to me. I don't know about anybody else. It seems like someone who has just possibility in front of them, and no, just possibility and noise in their head.
Mhm.
So it's no shit show, just possibility. So I'm happy to commit to whatever feels helpful, except enabling that noise in the head. We don't want to do that. That's the thing I wouldn't support, to be able to support. I would love if you were open to saying, okay, you know what, guys, I do need to embrace my uniqueness and my amazingness and all this, where I am and transition. I want to embrace that and accept it more. Then my commitment is to support you in that.
Yeah, thank you.
You're not saying that though. So I'm not sure how to support what you need.
Well, once I've taken on what you said, that you said, I will then be able to say yes to thank you for supporting me. Yeah, there's a little bit of my own ego, my inverse of ego, that kind of low self-esteem thing that's going, oh no, I'm doing blah 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 blah. And I so need to get rid of that. But saying it out loud, it actually sounds really silly. So yeah.
So I'm going to offer non-conventional support, which is some lean into the noise conversations. I relate extremely well to what you're saying about neurodivergence and ADHD and all those things. So, and I think it's helpful sometimes when someone gets all of those things that go on. So I'm offering that. I'm offering that conversation.
Thank you.
All right.
I don't know where I could offer support other than maybe to engage you in any kind of conversation related to activating the idea of a podcast. If that's something that would be helpful for you, feel free to contact me, and I'll be happy to share the tools that I use to help move me forward.
Absolutely, that'd be superb. Thank you, Alison.
And I'll definitely listen to anything you broadcast. That would be great.
Yay! I'll record it for you, Diane.
Perfect.
You have an audience.
Oh, super! Thank you so much, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Rodney, for doing this.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all.
See you again soon.
Yes, you can.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, guys.